hopefully just try and find some healing and get to share my own story. I mean, that's the cool part of being an artist, is that you get to tell people where you came from. And for a long time I wanted them to see me a certain way. That got in the way of like where I actually was.
What about some accomplishments? Let's write some articles about just like establish some clout.
I mean, there was the Bands of Enchantment, the first season of that. I was Grammy winning that TV season, or not that TV season, but that show. Ended up winning the Grammy. I got to kick that off.
And you were the first episode?
I was in the first season, yep.
In the first season.
And that came out of the blue. Like, I didn't even know that was what that was until I got there. And they had all the gaffing and they had all the lights and production set up, and it was like a polished thing. So that let me know that, like, one, there was an interest in my music, and two, it's not up to me about like when exactly how those opportunities are going to roll out.
Totally.
Won the 35th New Mexico Music Awards for Modern Rock. That song was How It Ends. So we won that.
How many times have you been... Oh, why didn't you win this year?
This year, I tried to go for the whole album, I think. I didn't go for a single. And I tried to move more into country, which I think is a kind of stiffer competition as far as like how people define country. Last time I went for rock. So yeah, went for a whole album, didn't do a single, and went in a different genre.
Who were you up against?
Who was I up against? Shit, I don't know. Talented people. I don't even remember who won. Like I said, you know, just by putting myself out there more, like being able to like reach people who are willing to support the music, go out and buy a shirt. Like, I view that kind of as a more important accomplishment, if that makes sense. Because that's like something that's real fans to me.
Those are people who buy your shirt?
Yeah. I mean, the awards, you know, you gotta pay. You gotta nominate yourself. And I'm not saying that it's like, it's not a good acknowledgement or a good accomplishment of being recognized by some of your peers. Like, I always want to focus on the fans if I can. Having a dude reach out to me and ask, you know, well, does Micah Thunder have a lyric book? And I'm like, well, I'm Micah Thunder, and no, I don't. But, you know, just having some random guy in the Midwest reach out and he's like into the lyrics, you know, that's something that we've worked a lot on, that I worked a lot on. And so to have somebody like tune in on like he's saying something that I want to hear more clearly. I don't want to just like get into the beat. Like, he's telling me something that I'm resonating with, that I want to hear more of. That's been like, that was a big win for me personally, to have somebody reach out and just like, I want a lyric book. Like, did he do something like that? So this summer I want to write it out, like get some calligraphy pens and make a lyric book. Put that up online. Make it available for people.
You ever thought about doing that digitally?
Like a digital scan of it? Or just typing it out? What do you mean?
Yeah, just typing it out.
I already typed it out.
A lyric book?
Yeah, I gave him a PDF of that.
And it was like stylish? Cool. Did it have pictures and stuff?
No. That'd be cool though.
Yeah, like it could have pictures and like colored backgrounds and fonts.
Right.
And like it could tell a story with the, like it could be more like digitally, like graphically designed.
Right.
It'd be pretty cool.
I like that.
You could pay somebody to do that for you.
Yeah.
You know? It probably wouldn't be that expensive.
No. That's not a bad idea.
And then you could sell it. $5.
Yeah, I mean that
For a
guy.
PDF download.
That guy wanted it.
Yeah.
You know, he reached out for a lyric book, and so, like, little moments like that help me know that I'm not just like shouting into the void. That there's some connections that are happening that people want to know more.
It's time to give it to them.
Yeah, that's what I mean by sharing. Like, you know, developing the community. Because I'm pretty private. That's one reason why I don't post my kids. I don't post a whole lot about my private life because at least up until now, I've tried to do that as a sign of respect to the audience that's already here. Of like, I'm not trying to demand your time. I'm not trying to like endlessly promote myself. At the same time, it's like I have to acknowledge that 99% of my audience has never heard of me. My potential audience. Who's that girl, Tracy Chapman? She wrote that song, "You've got a fast car, I've got a ticket to anywhere, maybe we could buy some people." I don't know. I don't know the lyrics. But she got to get her album out there because I think it was, who's that guy that wrote Signed, Sealed, Delivered? Signed, Sealed, Delivered, I'm yours. He's a piano player. We kind of did a breakdown, like his song, Sir Duke. Is that it?
Stevie Wonder.
Stevie Wonder, yeah. I think it was Stevie Wonder where he was supposed to go on some show, like some big festival, but they couldn't get him out there at the right time. And so Tracy Chapman, she got to go on stage for just her and her guitar, and she sang her whole album in front of like a huge audience of people, and that's really what kind of launched her career.
Yeah. You can feel it all over. You can feel it all over, baby. You can feel it all over. That's like a musician. Song's kind of a musician's wet dream.
Yeah, we did that on I Believe. I believe in you. There's that little breakdown.
That's a great song.
Now you met a fellow gentleman loser. I told you.
What are your favorite
Losing
songs
my
of yours?
game. You know,
Of all time?
of all time, top 3, I guess.
No, just like start listing them.
Yeah, I mean, Wave of Pain is killer. Wave of Pain is definitely up there as far as like talking about seeing somebody I was working around going through a teenage pregnancy and like knowing that was going to change her life, not being in a position to, like, I wasn't going to mentor her or give her advice because it just wasn't my place to do that at the time, but translating that into like what encouragement could I give somebody that feels like it has integrity, not just like, oh, thoughts and prayers, but it's like, man, ride the wave, like ride it, and you'll come out on the other side. And if you're willing to, you'll grow and learn. You know, maybe not the way you wanted it to go, but you'll grow and learn. I'm a sucker for Eurydice the Mule. For whatever reason, that song really sticks with me. I followed a kind of a rhyme structure that's called a chiasmus, where it starts and ends in the same way. It has like a sort of a pyramid design.
Is that with a K? K-A-Y-A-S?
I think it's C-H-I-A-S-M-U-S. Chiasmus. It's I mean, you see it in the Bible where it's like the last shall be first and the first shall be last, that kind of stuff. That's like a little mini chiasmus. Plus that instrumental where you started doing that, I felt like we were in like Flaming Lips territory when we started doing that, like rotoscopes. Wait. Now that synth that started really oscillating faster and faster, and it felt like this huge send-off into like real flight. I always picture
Pegasus.
Yeah, Pegasus. You know, think of that farmer like being given what's that kid who flew too close to the sun with his wax wings? Icarus. I feel like, you know, that farmer gets to, you know, get the thing that's going to bring his mule back to life. He talks to Persephone. Persephone has the pomegranates that she was given, and she ate, you know, 6 of them. That's why she has to stay in the underworld for 6 months out of the year. But she gives him one, because she still has the other 6. She gives him one of those pomegranate seeds and says, you know, this seed is far more precious than silver or gold. And so he takes it, you know, is given Icarus wings, and then gets to take off. And that's the takeoff point where he's flying away from the mountain to go save his mule. And then there's that last moment in that song where it's like, he's coming there, he's like, gets that pomegranate right to his mule's mouth, like, and that's where the song's ending, where it's like, you don't know if that mule's gonna pull through or not. So it's just like, so cinematic in my head when I sit there and I listen to the lyrics of that song. Yeah.
Nice, dude.
That song, great visuals for me. People like things like Newcomer. Newcomer's actually, it's been kind of like a dark horse. It's been coming up. That one's about like getting into support group for me, like showing up and asking for help for the first time. A lot of those lines, like, you know, trying to ask for help for the first time, it's like, I'm a stranger. You don't know me.
You don't know me.
Yeah.
I know where you're going.
Tell your story.
Sing it to me. I love that song too.
Tell your story. Don't leave out a thing.
Oh, that's a good line.
Yeah.
How did you come up with that?
I mean, that there's stuff that I thought I was going to take to my grave, like stuff that I didn't want to talk about. And so when I first started reaching out for help with my own recovery, there's guys who are willing to go there, you know, like talk about the stuff where I was like, man, we're not supposed to talk about this ever, you know, but they would do it in like, not in an exhibition kind of way where it's like, yeah, check it out. But it was just like, no, I mean, these are things that I've lived through, things that I've done, and, you know, I'm going to move, but this is how I'm moving through that. You know? I've talked to guys now where it's like, and it's not comparative, but like guys who have killed other people, because of their choices and how they moved through forgiving themselves, where it's like, it doesn't matter how many times I say sorry, like that person's never coming back, but how do I live life in a way that brings healing into the world now, rather than me trying to hurt everybody based off of that attitude. And so, like, that's real courage. I would never want to admit that, So my stuff, as far as like the people I've hurt and some of the terrible things that I've done, like, it helps me feel like I know that I'm not alone. Like, if I feel like I'm alone, I don't want to talk about it, because it's like, well, I'm the only person who's ever done this kind of stuff. I remember this lady a few weeks ago, she said, if there's a word for it, it means somebody else did it before you.
Holy shit.
I was like, okay, all right, cool. I gotcha. I get it. So that was cool, man. I'm glad she said that, because I wouldn't have. Yeah, I'm just one dude. Having people share out like that really helps me feel like, I don't know, I'm tapped into the hive mind. Yeah. It's so painful. I'm always screaming. How would you know what I'm feeling? All I fought for, it don't mean a thing. Hard lessons, upheaval. I've been dirty, I've been evil. Don't have the courage to face the problems in my life. I'm barely getting by. I'm barely getting by. Yeah.
Awesome song.
People resonate with that right now. So, I'm seeing it on Traffic, where people are finding it and buying the single, and it's just connecting with a certain audience that I think, like, you don't necessarily have to be in 12-step, but if you have recovery background, like, there's that connects with people. So there is a certain emphasis on, like, anonymity in recovery, because, like, you're not really supposed to be taking a profit off of the work you're doing in recovery, which I appreciate. Like, even in situations like in therapy or rehab, stuff like that, it's transactional, right? There is money's exchanging hands. And so, to start talking about your own recovery is tough, because it's like, are you trying to make a profit off of it? You're trying to sell it? Because one of the most important experiences for me in my recovery is the guys that are giving their time to me are doing it for free. Like, it's not about money. It's like, somebody taught me this, somebody showed me this and walked with me, and in order for me to keep this, I have to give it away. I can't sell it, it has to be freely given. And so I've gone back and forth on, like, how do I even talk about my recovery in a way that's not commercial? I'm not trying to commercialize this. I don't want to, have a plug for some sort of therapy that I'm going to, like, endorse, like my style of therapy or whatever. My self-help book that I'm going to put out or whatever.
Because it feels ingenuine. Yeah. Because this is a real thing.
Right. Exactly. And to even paired with music, like, and music is sacred to me, it's like, yeah, but you're selling the song,
Well, yeah.
And so that's one reason, like I said, building the community, sharing with the community, there's a certain level of, like, risk that's involved of like, yeah, I'm kind of talking about something that can be easily misunderstood. You know, and
How would you explain recovery to someone who maybe doesn't know they need help yet?
Yeah, that's a good question.
Maybe it's kind of case by case, huh? But
So if you're
how would you explain it to Justin Bieber? What would you say to Justin Bieber?
if you're in enough pain and you need help, you know, and you're willing to accept that help on the help's terms and not on yours. That's because for me it's like,
Wait, say that again?
like it's learning how to live life on life's terms for me. Like, the pain that you're in is going to be worse than accepting the help and the change that has to go with accepting that kind of help.
Fuck yeah.
It's tough. I don't like change because it's a threat to my sense of control.
Why do you feel like you need control?
Control is a false sense of security.
Oh, this guy's calling me. I gotta take it.
Take it.
Yo! I'm like post honeymoon, bro.
Did you just